What's up guys, it's your Spider back for another JJKPhantomparade video. So today we're going to be going over the brand new Nanami that's been out in the game for a couple days now. Before we get started though, I'd really appreciate it because you try me a like, comment, subscribe, would really help me out trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, both that being said. Let's get right into this. So, Nanami's been out for a while, as like a quick like should you summon, or if you have already summoned, you know, let me know how it went down in the comments below. But he's pretty good, not gonna lie. We'll take a look at his skill, what he does like right now, but as like a quick simple answer, he is, yes, very good, but at the same time we should be getting the limited time Utah banner relatively soon, maybe next week or maybe in 2 weeks, but we should be seeing a limited Utah but very soon, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, let's take a look at him. So he's gonna be green, he's gonna be mixed, of course, because like what is it, almost all enemies are green. Also, if you guys watched my last video, I am still a little bit sick. I think it finally is getting over to the point where it's like it's almost over. But yeah, he's also able to black flash. Let's see. So skill 1, ratio technique at level 1. He deals mixed damage equal to, or mixed melee damage equal to 77% physical and 77 jutsu, so equal to one enemy. He increases his own critical hit rate by 27.3% for 3 turns, and then he recovers his own curse energy by 5. So that's really good. At level 10, it's going to be 100 for both physical and jutsu, 30% critical hit rate for 3 turns, and then everything's the same. If you were to do at least up to level 8, it's 29, and then so basically level 8, the difference between level 8 and level 10 is very minimal. So honestly, like once you get it to level 8, you could probably stop there. You don't really need to push it to level 10 if you really want to. I mean, if you don't really want to, because you're just getting like an extra 0.6%, so you're not really getting a lot of extra crit rate out of it technically. For skill 2 here, continuous severing strike. At level 1, it's going to cost you 20 curse energy. You're going to increase your own break damage by 50% for 1 turn 1 time. You're going to deal mixed damage equal to 95% physical and 95% jutsu damage to one enemy for 3 hits. And then if your own curse energy is 60 or more, you're going to increase all green allies damage dealt by 18.2% for 2 turns. At level 8, break damage is still going to be the same, but you're not going to be dealing a mixed damage of 195 physical and jutsu damage to an enemy, and then you're going to be giving all green allies damage dealt increase by 20% instead of 18. So minor increase there. The only thing you're really benefiting out of this is getting like more damage out of the skill. Other than that, it's a very small buff for that you're giving to all allies. You're literally just getting an extra 2% out of that. So this is not too bad. You can probably leave it at level 8. You still get 19.6% damage dealt for all allies that are green, and then 172 physical and jutsu damage percentage, so it's not too bad. You get an extra, what, 3% or something like that? No, an extra, my bad, like an extra 20% almost. Maybe a little bit more than that for damage, but yeah, it's not too bad. I think this one's also fine at level 8, to be honest, if you are low on materials. But overall, pretty good skill so far. First one, you get critical hit rate for 3 turns. You get some extra curse energy, so you're technically getting 10 from this one, which is pretty cool. And then from skill 2 here, pretty decent damage here. Also more break as well, so you're able to break them a little bit quicker. And then if you have a lot of more extra curse energy, you're able to give everybody a small damage buff for like 2 turns, so like nothing too crazy there. Skill 3 here, ratio technique collapse, gonna cost you 35 curse energy. At level 1, you're gonna deal range mixed damage equal to 74% physical and jutsu damage to all enemies, so AoE. 3 hits, a high chance to crit, so that's pretty cool. With more curse energy, increase the damage further up to 120% of the original effect with 60 curse energy, being the max most likely. Max damage output, skill level 10, so this only happens if the skill is level 10. Mixed damage of 330 physical and jutsu, stop all enemy actions for 1 turn at a 20% chance, and then if your curse energy is 60 or more, you increase all green allies damage dealt by 18.3% for 2 turns, so that's from skill 2. And then if the target is a boss, increase their break damage received by 22.2% for 3 turns. Okay, there's a lot going on here. I guess a lot, you know, it's a bit, but like not super crazy, right? At level 10, you're going to be dealing a mixed damage of 150% physical and jutsu to all enemies, which is, yeah, it's a little bit lower than single turn 1, but that makes sense because it is AoE. And then, what else changes? And then the damage dealt to all allies for that are green gets bumped to 20%, and then break damage received by enemies gets jumped up to 25%. So all you're really getting is just more damage, really, and like minor increases to the buffs. So that's kind of interesting. So the way that they kind of handle it is where this Nanami so far seems like more of a DPS character with like minor support capabilities, where he's able to increase allies' green damage dealt by 20% from a skill 2 or from a skill 3. So that's still the same. He's also able to, he also increases his own break damage, and he's also able to give enemies more break damage received, specifically if they're a boss, right? Plus he does have 2 single target skills, skill 1, skill 2, and then AoE attack with skill 3. So he has like a lot of cool stuff in his kit going on, but he's definitely more of a DPS leaning character than a support character. But so far what I'm seeing here is actually pretty good for the most part. Decent amount of buffing and whatnot. Plus this is also pretty cool, you know, you get a bigger increase here, right? Mind you, right, at level 10 you're getting a significant more increase of damage here, 330% at level 10. Well, the only thing I'm not too sure about though is that if this is being added onto, so if you're doing this 330 plus the original 150 here, or if this is replacing, this 330 is replacing this 150 here. That's one thing I'm not too sure about. If it like this is replacing it, or if it's getting added onto. If it gets added onto, it's way more damage. But if it's replacing it, then I'm not too sure. But then again, it does say at level 10 here, so I'm going to assume it's getting added onto. But yeah, I'm assuming this max damage output skill level 10 might be something else as well. So we'll have to take a look at that further down this kit. But yeah, so far skill 3 looking pretty good. At level 8, if you guys are curious about that, it's going to be 90% ally damage though for green allies, 24% increased break damage received to enemies, and then 133% to all enemies for physical and jutsu damage. But overall pretty good. Now his ultimate here, you've prepared yourself, right? So at level 1, you're going to increase your own break damage by 100% for 1 turn, 1 time. You're going to deal mixed damage equal to 250% physical and jutsu to 1 enemy. 3 hits, high chance to crit, which means a possibility to crit, was a black flash, which is pretty cool. With more curse energy, increase the damage up to 150% of the original effect with 60 curse energy. Max damage output skill level 10, mixed damage of 900% physical and 900% jutsu. Decrease the selected enemy's critical hit resistance by 18.2% for 3 turns. You increase the enemy's green type damage received by 9% for 2 turns. And then if you have 60 or more curse energy, you also increase all green allies damage dealt by 22.2% for 2 turns. At level 10, we're looking at 360 for both physical and jutsu, with increase up to 150, which, you know, right here it says, like it says, at level 10 is going to be 900, it's going to be the max here. And then you're going to increase an enemy selected critical hit resistance, or decrease enemies critical hit resistance by 20%. You're going to increase their green damage taken by 10%, and then all allies that are green, their damage gets increased by 25%, so higher than the skill 2 and 3. And then at level 7 here, it's going to be 323. Physical and jutsu, then it's going to be 90% critical hit damage, or critical hit resistance lowered, and then 9% increased green damage received, and then 24% all allies that are green damage buff, basically. So not too bad. I think it's just kind of funny how for his buffing stuff, it's pretty low. It's like he gets like a minor like 5% increase or something, or 10% increase by level 10. So I think it's just a little bit funny to me. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think the zombie's pretty good kit wise, like pretty good skills for the most part, decent support. But yeah. Let's see. His combo effect here is going to be mixed damage to 1 enemy, and then increasing his and the allies critical hit by 30% for 3 turns. With hidden potential stage 2, it's now going to be 160% mixed damage, and then it's going to be critical hit rate gets increased to so it's still 30%, but it's going to be for 4 turns now. And then you're going to increase his and the allies black flash by 20%, so it's going to be really good if you're using like a green Yuji, right? Because you're going to build a green team. And that's going to be for 4 turns. That's really cool. His auto skills here, we got Persevere, grants revival at the start of battle. That's really cool. So he has a revival. That's really nice. We always love revivals. Decreases own maximum HP by 20%. 5 turns cannot be cancelled. Attracts enemy attacks to self for 3 turns. He decreases his own damage received by 30% for 5 turns. And then he increases his own physical and jutsu stat by 10% for 5 turns. So that's pretty cool. So it looks like when he revives, he's going to decrease his own maximum HP by 20% every 5 turns, which kind of sucks. He's going to also taunt himself, but he's going to decrease his own damage received, and he's also going to give himself a bit of a damage buff. So, give or take, I guess not too bad. I mean, unless I'm reading this wrong, let me see, because it does say you grant revival status Persevere at the start of battle. And then this is what it's saying here, right? Like what it's doing. So, unless I'm reading this wrong, and what it's saying is that he has a revival, but at the start of battle, he's going to decrease his own max HP, attract all enemies, decreases damage received, and then also increases his own stats by 10%. Unless that's what that means, which I feel like that makes a little bit more sense, right? Like he's doing all this, plus he has a revival, right, at the start of battle. Anyways, next thing we got here, overtime work. At the start of the 9th turn, recover own cursed energy by 60, bypass limit. That's really good, because he wants a lot of stuff where he wants to be at least at 60 cursed energy. He's going to increase his own physical and jutsu stat by 50% and recover his own ultimate gauge by 1000. After work time has applied, decrease own damage received by 10% at the start of the turn for 1 turn. With each turn pass, increased damage reduction from by 1% up to 30%. So after what? 30 more turns after the 9th turn, he basically will get a 30% damage increase, which is a lot. But I mean, hey, it's cool, I guess. Especially, you know, after 9 turns. So, you know, if you're going to go for like a long run, that's going to be really handy, right? Especially if you time that correctly. He has a counter as well, ratio technique. Grant counter status at the start of the battle. Counter, certain chance to activate 1 time per turn. He deals mixed damage of 75% to an enemy who attempts to perform a melee attack. Mind you, it's going to be melee, so if it's a range attack, it won't proc. He's going to increase his own critical hit rate by 50% for 2 turns, and he's going to give all green allies a 10% damage dealt for 2 turns as well, so that's really cool. And he has a 150% black flash damage for his counter for the multipliers. Critical hit enhancement, so when a critical hit or black flash is performed for 1 time per turn, he's going to increase his own critical hit rate and physical and jutsu stat by 20% for 3 turns. That's really good. He has a lot of passive stuff that's going on here. That's really, really good so far. Of course, he also has black flash, so he gets access to zone outburst here. So for 1 turn, 1 time, whenever a black flash is performed, he's going to increase his own black flash rate by 45% for 4 turns. That's really nice. He's going to increase his own physical and jutsu stat by 30% for 4 turns. 5 cursed energy recovery for 4 turns, and he's going to recover his cursed energy by 10 as well. So a lot of great stuff if you're able to get a black flash off, so that's going to be really handy. And the last passive here is adhere to the facts and judge accordingly. So at the start of the turn, you're going to increase your own ultimate charging rate by 6% for 1 turn, with more jutsu high officials like Gojo, Shoko, people like that, I'm assuming. You, in the wave, increase the effect further up to 20% for 4 characters, or with 4 characters, so you can get up to 20% ultimate charging rate, so that's pretty cool. And then when he increases his own black flash rate by 5% for 1 turn, with more Tokyo Jutsu high Jutsu high year 1 in the wave. So basically like Yuji, Megumi, Nobara, them up to 50% with 1 character. So that's pretty cool. Wait, increase effect. So I'm assuming 50% is the cap. I'm assuming here, where the cap for this one's 30%, right? But yeah, that's really cool. So you can build like a teacher team, and then he has a he's able to charge his ultimate a lot faster, or you can build like him being the teacher, and then he, all the Jutsu students basically, where he's able to give himself a bigger chance to Black Flash, which he does really want it. So I'm gonna be honest, the one that's black, that's the increase for Black Flash rate, it's kind of better, but at the same time, right, you could have both the best worlds and run a, like kind of a mixed team where you have maybe like Yuji and Megumi and then like Gojo in there, or like, you know, you're always gonna have Yuji with this Nanami for sure, right? And then you can run like a Gojo and then whoever else you want at that point. But yeah, honestly, yeah, really good character. He's really, really strong. I think he has a really strong kit, really, really good. I don't know if I'd say he's better than like Choso and like this Gojo, but he's like up there, you know? Like he's up there. I'd say he's like either double S tier or like the bottom of triple S tier. That's how I would put him. He's like really good, but maybe not like Awakened Teen Gojo or Choso level, in my opinion. I think he's really good though. So I'd say he's at the very least triple S tier, but maybe on the lower end, or at the very least at the very top of double S tier. That's where I would rate this Gojo personally. Now we have 2 recollection myths, of course. We had a free to play one and a gacha one. This one is the gacha one, so it's gonna be mixed damage here. So whenever you do an ultimate, you're gonna increase your own physical and jutsu stat by 40% for 1 turn 1 time, and then if your own cursed energy is 60 or more, increase on black flash rate by 40%. That's really fucking good for one turn, one time. At a 6 turn cooldown, so that's also great. If you have one dupe into it, at the start of the turn, if your own cursed energy is 60 or more, you increase your own black flash rate by 10% for one turn. And then if the equipped character is a Tokyo official high, it's gonna increase their critical hit rate by 20% for one turn, and their black flash rate by 10% for one turn. And then at 3 dupes, it's going to give you a 40% physical and jutsu buff, and then a 50% chance to black flash. Pretty good. It's pretty good. Definitely, of course, just mainly built for Nanami, but you can maybe make it work with like another character. But at the same time, they kind of need to be able to increase their cursed energy really quickly. So there is that caveat, but for the most part, it's pretty good. I'd say I rate it kind of high. And this is going to be the free-to-play one. So full dupes. Whenever you do anything, you're going to increase your own critical hit rate by 30% for 3 turns, and then if it's equipped to a green character, whenever you crit, you're going to increase your own damage dealt by 30% for 3 turns, and decent for a free-to-play recollection mint. It's going to have a 9 turn cooldown though, so that kind of sucks. And then on one dupe, at the start of that battle, you're going to recover your own ultimate gauge by 110, which I mean, I guess it's okay, nothing too crazy, so but yeah, I'd say for the summon gacha one, this one, I'd say is a mixed damage one. I'd say it's probably, yeah, I'd say probably S tier. I think S tier is fair for this one. I wouldn't say it's maybe double S tier, but I'd say this is definitely like an S tier one at the very least. And then the free to play one, I mean, it's whatever, it's fine. I'd say it's like a utility one, but like a DPS focused one kind of technically. So I'd say it's probably maybe like an A or B tier, but yeah. It's just alright to me, nothing too crazy. But yeah. That's pretty much it. So, should you summon for Nanami? Honestly, I'd say no, because we're going to be getting limits on Yuta. Now, if you do love Nanami and you don't really care about that kind of stuff, then sure, go for him. Otherwise, I think even though he's a really good character, I don't think you really need to go out of your way for him. I mean, if you are missing green DPS character, then maybe, but at the same time, from the monthly wish list, you can just pick up Megumi, get a pretty good, decent green DPS character there, and then, you know, you're good to go, right? So, like, this Nanami is really, really good, but I don't think you're really going to go out of your way for him, especially because we're going to be getting limited to Yuta very, very soon. Because, like, look, if you go to the timeline here, then here's Nanami, right? In February, not a month later, there's going to be this Yaga that comes out, support Yaga, and then right after, boom, Yuta. So, Yuta might be next week or in 2 weeks, I'm assuming, and then maybe Yaga will be like the week after or something like that. It's kind of how I'm theorizing how things are going to maybe go, since we are technically in the global, was it 1.5 anniversary or something like that? I kind of forgot which number we're at. But yeah, this Yuta is limited, and we're going to be getting him very soon. So I'd say save your cubes for this Yuta, because he's going to be way, way, way better. But the main other reason is because he's limited, right? So I'd say just save your cubes for him. It's going to be more worthwhile. But yeah. Also, I'll probably throw up my picture of like my multi that I got, because I got really lucky with the free multi, as you guys will see. So yeah, pretty cool there. So hey, who knows, some of you guys might get lucky like that too, either getting him or the recollection bit. Either or, sometimes that happens, right? But yeah, with that being said, good luck with this summon if you guys haven't pulled yet, or if you guys did pull, you know, like I said, let me know down in the comments below if you guys got lucky, didn't get lucky, and all that jazz. But yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna catch y'all later. Peace and take care, everybody.